You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the February 24th meeting of the Michigan City Historic Preservation Commission. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
I'll call the meeting to order. Our secretary is at a funeral of his grandfather, so he's going to try to join us on Zoom, but I've asked Larry if he would just do the roll call for us.
Sure.
Thank you.
Lawrence Zimmer, present. Deb Parcell.
Present.
Joyce Dalton.
Present.
Dan Granquist.
I'm here.
Pat Matsey.
Here.
Amy Bowman.
Here.
Steve Hale.
Here.
Anthony Hicks. We're not sure. Sylvia Martin. Dwayne Hurt. Absent. Greg Coulter. Absent.
Greg couldn't be here. He's got family at his house.
Okay. So we have a quorum.
Thank you. All right, can we, has everyone had a chance to look at their agenda? And I'm sorry, we don't have any minutes from last month. So next month we'll have 2 meetings of minutes to go over.
Madam Chair,
Yes,
I've been asked, and I would ask you and the commission to remove an item from our agenda, the item under new business regarding historic landmark ordinance. That requires some further review by the attorney staff, both for the city and for this body. I'd like to have a longer period of time to look at it and consult before we present it to you for further discussion.
all right. So we are going to remove under item 11D, which is the historic landmark ordinance. Thank you, Steve.
And then we
You're welcome.
also.
And we need to add a COA.
Right, under the COA 6, we want to add B for COA 2025-004, which is 205 East 10th Street. And that's for windows.
Did everyone get that? Okay. Okay, Pat, would you read our statement, please?
Yes. Statement of purpose. Historic preservation is good for cities. No, not just good. Historic preservation is great for cities. The reason historic preservation is great for cities are multiple: aesthetic, symbolic, cultural, social, educational, economic, and others. And that came to us from 24 historic preservation is good for your community, prepared by Place and Economics. And then the other portion that we read is the erection, construction, enlargement, alteration, repair, demolition, color change, moving or maintenance of any building, structure, appurtenance, which is begun, continued, or maintained contrary to any provisions in this chapter 62, is hereby declared to be a nuisance and in violation of this chapter and unlawful. Any person, whether as a principal, agent, owner, lessee, tenant, contractor, builder, architect, engineer, or otherwise, who violates any provision in this chapter shall be punished as a provision in section 1 through 7 of the Michigan City, Indiana Code. Michigan City Code, section 62-2.
Thank you. I'm assuming we have no correspondence. Do you know of any, Sylvia? Okay. All right. We will move on to the COAs.
Okay. The first one is COA 2025-003. It's for 813 Franklin Street, contributing building classical revival style built around 1902. The project is reconstruction, rehabilitation of the historic downtown commercial building, specifically adding an exterior door on the south side of the storefront, reducing the storefront glass to allow for that installation, and repairing brick above the storefront. So with the application, there was also drawings, but when I met with the owner, the husband, he said that those drawings, the notes in those drawings were not representative of what they're going to do. So it said replacing all the windows, they're not doing that, a number of things. So it's just what we're talking about here is what he said they were going to do. So the finding of fact, a secondary entrance is necessary to provide access to the second floor apartments. Storefront glass on the south side will be greatly reduced to accommodate the new door. I believe let's see if I can find it here. I can tell you a little bit because I measured it while I was out there. So the glass right now is 52 inches wide. So till you get a 36-inch door and the framing for all that, there's not going to be a lot left, but there will be a little bit of glass on the south side. They're not touching anything on the north side. So the recessed entrance and that north side will remain unchanged. There's black art glass at the bottom and at the top of the windows. There was a little that had been replaced in the entryways. So the idea is to take some of the salvage material from the south side and replace that replacement glass. You really can't see it. That's the south side there. There's the north side. So what's down at the base on the north side there is actually a different material than what's out along the sidewalk. So it's kind of hard to tell, but it's not nearly as shiny when you're there in person. So the thought was to do that, and that Lily's is going to be retained. The transom area above the storefront glass and the business name will be repainted to the new name of the business, the restaurant that's going in there. There's some brick that's bulging above the transom area that's going to be repaired and repointed as necessary using the existing materials and or materials to match the existing. The existing windows will remain. New door to the upstairs, and if they replace the main entrance door, those will need staff approval. We don't know what those will look like at the moment. So the recommended motion is approval of the additional new front entrance on the south side, brick repair and repointing above the transom area and repainting of the transom area, with the condition of retaining the existing storefront glass, except in the area of the new door, that the black art glass above and below the storefront windows is retained, and that the Lily's terrazzo entrance floor is retained. And final approval of new doors needs to be by staff. And the owner is here, Lena.
You want to come forward?
Yeah.
Do you have any questions or anything you want to tell us differently than what's been read?
No, so far just like a very like a simple. We just want to replace like the broken window on the first floor, and then remain the windows on the second floor.
Yeah, there is broken
Yeah, on the
glass.
south we'll
Yeah.
put like a new door for the second floor the apartment in the future.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions?
Yes. I'd like to know, is there some kind of a drawing that shows what the altered facade is going to look like?
There is a drawing in the application, but it is not representative. It's not to scale. There's no way. It can't be. Well, did you get the application, the COA application?
I did. I don't have it with me.
Yeah, there is a drawing. I should have scanned it and put it in there. That's why I was questioning it when I met with her husband out there. But there's the drawing, and you'll see it shows the door and the remaining glass as being equal. And that's not possible. There's not that much room. And then same way on the north side, it shows a divider in there and different glass. And he said they're not going to do that. They want to replace the broken
Yeah, they
glass,
replace the glass. Yeah.
but not to have that divider piece in there or any of that sort of thing. So it's a nice drawing, but it's not what they're actually doing. There
So
will be a
shouldn't-
door there.
Shouldn't we ask for a drawing though? Because this is a big alteration.
It is to the south side. It
Yeah.
is. So an actual drawing that's reflective of that area. Nothing else is changing on the front. So I don't know that it's necessary to see that, but on the south side, we could ask for that. That was more accurate.
Yeah, we just keep it like existing, current the glass. But it's broken, just like replace a new one.
Well, I know, but you're adding a door and you're making quite a lot of changes. It's not as simple as you're making it sound. So I think it warrants a better drawing of showing us the changes that you're going to make.
I think according on the floor plan, it did show.
Let me show you.
Wouldn't the contractor need a drawing for dimensions? and
Sure, he would.
Removal and
Yep.
installation?
Yeah, they will need drawings that are reflective of what they're doing. There's Sawyer's house.
So you already have a contractor that's going to do this work for you?
Yeah, we have a couple contractor. We are talking with them now, but for the bid
Okay,
for the price.
okay.
Have the drawings gone to the state of Indiana?
Yes, it's going to get approved.
Have they already been
Yeah.
approved?
We
Okay.
are submit to the state, it's approved.
I kind of see what you're saying. But
Yeah.
it looks like somebody did a very professional
It
drawing.
does look extremely nice. It's just, there's no way that can fit in 52 inches. Unless that's a really skinny door.
Can we just ask them to go back to the architect and verify all that information and make sure it's drawn accurately?
If they could go back, if they could verify the dimensions of the new door and whatever glass is left after that,
Okay,
as you're standing looking at the building, so the part to the left.
On
If
the
they
left.
could give us a drawing of that or
Because there's going to be a wall in there too.
yeah,
So
we'll
Right.
put a drywall.
Space,
Mhm.
Mhm.
reframe glass that's remaining. So, Larry, yeah, would you be able to go back there?
Sorry.
So if we could just get a drawing that more accurately reflects what really is going to be built there, I think we would feel better about it.
Okay,
Because it is a large alteration that you're creating, and it's going to alter the look of that facade a lot. And we just can't let something go like that without knowing what it looks like.
okay. I know a little bit different with like original, the floor plan. We just keep like most apart, but there's new door. Yeah.
I also wonder, does it make any sense to just leave the facade as it is, have your entry door that's in the middle go into a vestibule, and then have a wall there
Go to
that has the
second floor.
door that goes to the upstairs, and then the door into the restaurant?
We have think about that way. That will take like some space.
Yeah,
from the,
you'll
the
lose a
first
little
floor.
bit of space, sure,
Yeah.
but it would preserve the facade. It's just something to consider.
Okay,
It might be less expensive for you as well to build an interior partition with a door and as opposed to altering the facade and changing all that glass.
I will think about it. I can talk with the architect.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just something to think
To
about.
see, yeah,
Sure.
the plan.
Anyone else have any questions? Okay, then I guess we'll wait for the drawings that you have made, and then also you might want to ask the architect about what Larry has suggested, maybe
Mhm.
taking the wooden door off the front and putting clear glass so people know they can go in to go upstairs and then they still can go into your restaurant. Might be better answer too, and it might be cheaper. Not to take glass out and cut it down and redo it. Just whatever you're comfortable with too.
Yeah, I was thinking about, but it's kind of like everybody go through that same door. It's a little bit
Mm-hmm.
weird,
I don't know. That's what your architect needs to work that out with you. Look at that as an option and consider it and have him price things out for you and see if that's an advantage or not.
Because I will consider like our current location, 725, there's like a separate door and also, for the upstairs and also a door for the restaurant. We want to separate. I don't want to like together.
Okay. Our goal, though, is to try and preserve
Yeah.
as much of the original facade as possible. And if you're going to be altering it, then it needs to be historically accurate and, compatible with what's there. That's our goal.
I will ask Mike Hart, like architect. I still feel like it's interesting. If like there's only one door, we go to upstairs and also for the business, that'll be weird for me. I just want to separate. I will talk with my architect.
Okay.
Kyle and I met with she and her husband last year, and talked through a lot of different things, a lot of different ways of approaching it because, we didn't really want to see a door there initially either, but they have some accessibility issues to that upper level that's going to be developed into apartments. So there's a door in the back, but there needs to be two means of egress. And the
Yeah,
other
but-
stairs are in the middle of the building. So that doesn't work well to go into the middle of the restaurant to utilize the stairs that are there. So after we talked about different ways of, a lot of the things we looked at would have changed the entrance, and we felt leaving that Lily's there was really important. So we didn't really want to mess with that centered entrance. Because we looked at ways of like dividing that storefront glass differently. We finally conceded that this was probably the least change to the front that we could and still get that accessibility. But we didn't talk about everybody using the same door. We were looking for a separate entrance. So I don't know. That's kind of some background on this.
But as far as the current COA with the separate entrance on the south end of the facade there, then what we're still asking for is for them to come back with drawings to specify the more details of that.
Yes.
If, in the meantime, if they want to revise something or make some other changes, that's up to them. But our decision now would be to delay it for the month, continue it for a month to give time to get drawings.
Correct.
And that's what you're thinking.
And I think we should see what kind of doors you're proposing as well. I don't want to leave that up to the staff to determine whether that's accurate or not. The type of door that you're going to be installing should be shown on the drawings and specified. The
Okay.
style and the finish and details.
Uh-huh.
Are you putting in the same kind of door that's already there?
No, probably different one.
Good.
Yeah, that is
Definitely,
cool.
yeah.
No,
Yes, yes.
probably similar as like a 725, the current one, the door.
Okay, I haven't paid attention.
I'm not sure what that looks like right off, but this door that's there can certainly go away. That's not historic.
No, it's not.
Okay, so once I finish, I will just come back for the meeting or I just submit to the,
Once you get with your architect and
Yeah.
he lets you know when he would have a drawing or so on, if you would contact the planning department,
planning department.
they would get a hold of us. If you can't get a hold of your architect for a while, it'll
Okay.
be next month. But we decided before you got here that if you get something by the end of the week, maybe we could have a special meeting just
Sure.
to
Okay.
check over everything.
Okay, I will try to
Okay.
contact with him tomorrow.
All right.
All right,
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
But for
Madam
now,
Chair.
to make a decision.
Right, you have
So
to vote.
we'll need a motion to continue it, which I'll make a motion to continue it until the next meeting.
I think Steve Hale has a comment.
I think he was gonna say the same thing.
Steve, do you have a comment?
It was just to Mr. Granquist's point, if he would make a motion so that we have an official decision
Yeah.
as to what's happening. I think that's appropriate.
Okay.
Or, and I don't have the designation in front of me, but COA 2025 or something.
It's COA 2025-003 regarding 813 Franklin Street.
Move to continue until the next hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Drew, can I ask why Dwayne Hurt's name is up there? Oh, he is? Okay. So Larry, we want to make that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Deb.
Okay, so the one we've added on is the one that just appeared this afternoon. This was filed on the 3rd of February, so it was filed in a timely fashion. It's not the applicant's fault that it got lost in the shuffle. So that's why we're adding it to the agenda tonight. This is this building right here, 205 East 10th Street. Obviously, I do not have a staff report for this. What they're looking at is replacing all of the old windows. A number of them are wood windows under triple track storm windows. I chatted with the owner a bit and told him that we need, when it's a window COA, there needs to be a staff site visit to see the condition of the windows. We just didn't have time to pull that off today. But that could happen soon. They'd like to replace those with vinyl replacement windows. It's from Window World. He sent some product information along, and I'm sorry, there was just not time to pass this all along to everybody. A few of the windows already are vinyl replacements. So we basically have 3 options for this. We could call a special meeting. The 30 days actually would be up on March the 5th, which is a week from Wednesday. So having a special meeting by March 5th, and I could schedule a site visit and do a staff report, and then we could make a decision. Or we can give them an extension until the March meeting. Or finally, you could approve or deny with no further information. And the owners are here, so you can talk to them and see what they want to do as well. So,
Would you mind coming? Thank you.
And for information, the next March meeting will be March 24.
right, same as
Monday.
today. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Hi, is this your home that you live in?
No,
Okay,
no. My name is Eric and this is my wife Janet.
Hi.
We've owned the property over 30 years. We've had it for a long time. It was a 4-unit, or it is a 4-unit building. We've kept it as 4 different units. They were full-time rentals up until like 5-6 years ago, and then we started converting them to their Airbnb rentals now. So 3 of them have been on the Airbnb and have good reviews, and they're usually booked all summer. The other one just was vacated, and we're remodeling that right now. So along the way, now we're at a point, we've got the whole outside done, which we had the colors approved through this board, I believe, or somehow with South Bend. I don't know how that worked. That was years back. And then we had the roof approved for the color and all that. And so then we decided to do windows. We didn't know we had to get approval, to be honest with you, till our window guy went to get the permit. Then that's when we found out, on around February 3rd or whatever. There's 29 windows there. 3 of them are vinyl windows right now. It's difficult to tell which 3 because there's triple track storms on the building. And I think most of the windows, if the triple track is not on the vinyl window, it's been painted the red accent color. So it still kind of looks like all the windows. So all the windows look just like that. So it's difficult to tell which one is vinyl and which one is wood. The wood windows were original from when it was built in 1882 and has all the ropes. Most of the ropes have either broke or are gone. Many of the frames are falling apart or have been from weather, deteriorated from the outside. We have difficulty getting to the top windows because of how high they are. We're a lot older now than it was when we started. And we used to be able to once a year go up and clean them. And now we can't do that because we're just hanging on the ladder. So our plan was to redo the window, have them wrapped in the same color that's there, to give a workable window, first of all, that we can wash in and out. That is long-term maintenance better for us. And also so the guests can use the windows, because right now we don't allow them to open and close the windows very much because they're very difficult. Also, during this whole adventure, we discovered their lower windows are really low. They're like 18 inches above the floor level. And then we found out, we were told that those need to be tempered glass for safety, which we didn't know that all these years. We've just left the same windows in. So,
Well, in addition to the bathroom windows that are close to either a tub or a shower, those also need to be tempered for one getting out of the tub. You know, in case of an accident and somebody trips and falls, it needs to be tempered so that they don't crash into the window. So there's a few bathroom windows that also need to be tempered, which was new to us as well.
yeah. So here we stand.
Welcome to the world, right?
And, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, and can I just say one other
Yeah.
thing? You know, when we were informed about filling out the application, one thing that jumped out at us in terms of, you know, making the replacement of the windows was this conspicuous change for the exterior. And then it goes on to say about color. So I guess that the windows would fall into either an alteration, because it's not an addition. I mean, there's already windows, so we're just changing them out. So conspicuous change based on how the windows look today. And when the new windows go in, being white vinyl, again, supporting what Eric just said, it's really not a conspicuous change other than it's going to be a little bit of white instead of burgundy. You know, the same size window will be used,
It'll be
clear
double hung,
glass,
clear glass,
double
yeah.
hung, nothing that's going to jump out and say, hey, this building is like really majorly changed.
And what that refers to is some people that have windows like this
Uh-huh.
and change them out, like the ones that are different on the top than the bottom, that would be very conspicuous. So that's why that's listed
Oh,
like
okay.
that.
Gotcha.
A big change. We're not talking about 1/1. It'd be 3/1 or
Okay.
whatever they chose. And
Okay.
you do see those occasionally. So
Gotcha. Well,
that
thank
was,
you for
that's
the
what that meant. So,
clarification on that.
okay. And we want to apologize again that you were overlooked, but
Sounds like you're going through a lot of changes.
yeah, we are. We
That's
are.
understandable.
And
Well, we were hoping, you know, that we got it in time because we want to have the work done before our busy season. So it's just timing is of the essence also.
so what are you suggesting?
I mean,
What is your busy season? What's your time frame? If we have time to put it off until next month so we can have time to review and
We
staff
start
and look
getting
at the
busy
windows?
about April, and then April through September. So then in summer, it's even busier.
Someone put the application in the wrong location. So instead of going in a basket somewhere or something where it would be found, it got laid on Skylar's desk and he was on vacation. So, yeah. So other things got put on and then he's moving around and yeah, it was just unearthed today. So it is no fault of the applicant whatsoever. It was filed in plenty good time. I am headed back this way tomorrow for another meeting up at the dunes, so it would not be at all out of the way to stop there tomorrow and look at the windows if we were able to put a special meeting together and attain quorum by next Wednesday. So I don't know.
Sorry, I knew I was gonna be quiet, but I just wanted to say that, I do think that it is. I never had to bring anything down.
Bring the whole thing. There you go.
Jeez.
There you go.
Can you hear me, Drew? Okay. Because it was a mishap on, our part, I think that, we should try to put forth the effort to accommodate them. And I can send out a email to see if we can acquire quorum, and whatever day we acquire quorum on, we can converse with Drew to try to find a adequate time. And I'll make myself available as needed so that we can move forward with, you know, their process, because it's important that, you know, we take responsibility for our actions as well.
Has staff had a chance to identify the kinds of windows that they're requesting? So we don't know
I know
anything.
these type of windows, yes. Window World, we've had applicants before using those, so I'm familiar with the replacement window. But I haven't seen the actual windows, and we try to always make it a point to go out and see the windows, particularly, you know, on the front facade. I think those are really important. But overall, to see what's where, what condition it's in, that really is very helpful.
Yeah, and we don't want to deviate from y'all from the regular processing, but we want to make sure that we follow the processing a little more, a little faster than we normally would. I still want you all to still take the same steps to make sure that this is a legitimate approval. But I will make myself available to take the responsibility and get things done, if you guys are okay with that.
So and what's the time frame for staff to visit and talk
She
and
can-
Well, I can go
submit a report?
tomorrow if we can work that out. I have a meeting at the Dunes at 1 or 2 o'clock. I can't remember. I'll look that up. So I can do that tomorrow, and then I could write a staff report by Wednesday. I could get that to you. We need to have 48 hours notice to have a public meeting. And I don't know what the availability of the room, probably don't have that all memorized in your head, do you, Drew?
Day, if you tell me what day, I can look at the calendar right now, let you know what would be.
Well, we can meet on the sidewalk too. We don't have
You
to meet in
can
the
meet
room.
anywhere. You don't have to meet here. That is true.
I'm not interested in sidewalk meetings.
What
Let
did you say
me-
the date was? Next Wednesday?
Wednesday. It's got to be by Wednesday to meet the 30-day requirement, the 5th. So,
Let's see. Let me
I
look
don't
on the
know,
list.
it's the 4th, 3rd or 4th? I think
Fourth city
Friday's
council meeting, they'll be
Yeah. I
here
was just about.
What time is the council meeting?
6:30 to all evening.
We don't want to be after you then.
No.
Uh-huh. So do
Oh,
we,
we met at 4 o'clock or something early.
Is it necessary to meet in this room?
No,
no,
so I said we can meet on the sidewalk, any
but
room.
the only thing is we can't meet at the same time. Well, it won't be live, right, Drew? It'll be recorded. But it won't be, look, I'm learning. It won't be live, however, and we won't be able to have a Zoom link. That is the only issue, but we can pretty much have it in the ELC.
Mm.
At that time, it could even be before. It doesn't look like anyone's in the ELC, but I will verify first thing in the morning.
so are we talking Monday or Tuesday?
Ooh, let's look at Monday. I was only looking at
Do you
Tuesday.
guys have a preference?
Tuesday.
Tuesday,
would be
okay,
good.
Tuesday.
I mean, that gives you an extra day
Well,
also.
Yeah, it does. But Monday, there is the Monday probably, as far as it being Zoom and live, will probably be the best day because there's no night meeting. Only thing is Board of Works that morning. So as far as if we want to make sure that we have it available for Zoom, then it will have to be Monday. If you're okay without it being a Zoom video, then we can do Tuesday, and I can verify I can verify. You can ask Drew. I always accommodate in all my.
Monday's bad for us, that I can say.
So
So
we're,
let's-
let's
Stick
talk
with Tuesday.
Stick with Tuesday. Okay, so we'll do Tuesday.
So that'd be the 4th.
It'll be the
Right.
4th, and what we can do is we can still have it at the same time so that Drew will not have to be here at multiple we'll be right there.
Drew White, Director of Operations for Alco. What I would actually probably suggest if it would be possible for you guys to do it at about 5 o'clock on Tuesday before the city council meeting. They do have a finance committee meeting that starts at 6 o'clock, but I'm guessing that this particular meeting would not take too long to where if you were to meet at 5 or even 5:30, you would be able to wrap up by 6 o'clock. I would be able to be already here, and then you would have availability on Zoom at that time. That would be my
Okay.
recommendation for what it's worth.
Which is better for you, Drew, 5 or 5:30?
5.
Let's plan 5 o'clock. So there's time
We're
to
not
be
hurried.
one,
Yeah.
one item on the agenda.
Yes, and then maybe we can reach out to the other COA to see if she can acquire the drawing. That way we can take care of them at the same time, and I can also finish up your meeting minutes.
Well, thank you.
There you go.
Hey, what more could we have, right?
Really? And we do have, I don't know if you would want any other addresses that Window World has installed vinyl windows. You don't need
He's
those.
very familiar.
Okay,
She got this.
Yeah.
all right.
And so, yeah, and everyone we try to review for that house. So, yep,
Gotcha.
but we are familiar with those. So,
Okay,
And you're available 5 o'clock
Yep.
Tuesday, right here.
Right here.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so you're on notice. You won't need any other notice.
okay.
And then I'll just wait to hear from you about tomorrow.
actually, I'm looking at my calendar right here.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have to be up at the dunes at 1 o'clock tomorrow. So if I could be there at noon or around there, would that be okay?
That's fine.
Okay. If you want to come,
Is there noon?
Okay,
okay,
we'll give you the grand old tour.
okay, all righty.
I'll
We-
be there noon as well. Steve, look, I'm getting into action.
Good. Madam Chair,
Yes,
I would
don't
just remind you, Sylvia made the comment, I want to make sure that it's not lost. There has to be, this is a public meeting, there has to be public notice, and Sylvia, if you can get that out on a timely basis.
Or if we're gonna have it Tuesday, I'm gonna have it out tomorrow.
thank
Once
you.
I
That
verify
would
with the
be-
EOC.
That would be wonderful.
I
Plus-
said that in front of my boss, so gotta have it done.
Plus, we have the public notice tonight that you're notified and the public's notified that we'll have a special meeting Tuesday, 5 o'clock in the council room right here.
Great.
Okay,
Good. Thank you.
thank you
much.
thank you for coming, and we apologize for the,
Thank you for squeezing us in. We
Yeah,
appreciate
thank
that.
well,
Yeah.
thank you, thank you,
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Have a blessed night.
thank you,
Thank
you
you.
too. Okay. And then you have a maintenance.
Yes,
Okay.
I have. And did I not bring that with me? I don't know that, do we need a motion? I don't know. Steve, do we need a motion for that?
For the continuance,
Yes.
yeah.
Since we're
Yes,
gonna have a
we-
special meeting.
we should have a motion, both the continuance and the special meeting.
Okay, who would like to make that motion?
I move that we extend this certificate of appropriateness till next Tuesday, March 5th at 5 o'clock in the EOC room
No, we're going to be in this room.
in the council chambers.
Yes. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Opposed, same.
And if we need a motion to establish a special meeting next Tuesday at that time, then it's.
You're doing
moved.
that?
Have a special meeting Tuesday, March 4, 5 o'clock here in the council chambers.
Do I have a second to that?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Opposed, same. Thank you, carried. So next Tuesday, March the 4th at 5 PM, right here. And I will send out a note to everyone to hope that the rest of the group that couldn't be here tonight can be there. Okay. On to Deb.
Okay, maintenance review for COA 2025 002 was for a roof replacement for 21 East 8th Street. It was just a replacement in kind. So that was approved by Skylar.
Okay. Just okay.
And then under certificates of appropriateness in progress, we actually have one for that. And I brought along some handouts because we have some stuff that we don't usually get here. So if you remember at the last meeting, we had one COA, it was for a house on West 10th Street. And you approved most everything on the spot, but they were looking at replacing their windows. And we gave them 30 days to have somebody look and see if the wood windows were repairable. And so that meeting was on January 27th. And by Saturday, the 8th of February, we had a response from the owner. And so this was actually addressed to everyone. But she said we were planning towards Simon Joshua. Joshua and Company was one of the names that we gave them to check with, and they were planning to go with that. And they sent some attachments along. And so this, I'll send this around. This is a letter from Simon Joshua telling you that of his intent to repair the windows. We just almost never get these, so it's really exciting. And then he also sent an estimate. There might be more than you need. I don't know. So you can actually see what an estimate looks like for repair because we recommend this and we almost never have hard numbers to go with it. So I think this is exciting. The same person's doing bids in other towns that I work in, so I don't know how much. I hope he doesn't overbook himself, but I think he's really ambitious. So there's that. So I'll just read this. For the record, the letter is to the Historic Preservation Commission of Michigan City. Greetings. This letter announces the intent of Mara Walsh to renew and restore the historic windows at 217 West 10th Street. The scope of work contracted includes removing loose paint and glazing, replacing broken panes, reglazing and repainting, encapsulating the lead paint, treating the frame in the same way, treating rot where necessary, re-roping and reassembling with existing weather stripping where serviceable. The contract includes all existing historic windows in the structure. Joshua and Company is contracted to carry out the restoration. The work will be completed according to common practices, acknowledged by members of the Window Preservation Alliance and its teachers that he lists there. My methods, practices, and past projects are an open book. Please do not hesitate to contact me about my work on this project. Thank you for your tireless ongoing effort to preserve our heritage. So, and I drove by there yesterday afternoon. My husband and I were in town and probably at least a half a dozen windows have been pulled and he's working on them. So I think this is super exciting. He responded quickly and I feel like the price for the number of windows is extremely reasonable.
Wow.
So for all the times that we hear there's nobody out there, there's nobody that will do it, I can't afford it, there's this. So I just wanted y'all to see this and know that there are people that can do this and will do this and will come to Michigan City.
And we'll give special attention and acknowledgement and recognition to Joshua and Company out of South Bend, Indiana. So the public can be aware of them and appreciate them.
Thank you.
We do have their address and their phone number if anyone is in need of it.
Madam Chair, could Deb give us the COA that was related to?
That was COA 2025-001.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question, Deb. So this is great that they're going to restore these windows. Where are they going to have any kind of a storm window inside or out? Or
I don't remember if they have storm windows. I feel like they have some storm windows already. I'd have to go back and look at the application to see what they said. If they were going to keep those, I don't know.
all right.
I'll find that out.
I mean, not important. Well, it is important. I don't need to know. I'm just concerned about, that when we promote this type of restoration, which I totally am behind, I'm also concerned about energy conservation and how that we can make the building envelope as tight and energy efficient as possible.
I'm pretty certain there are storm windows on there based on what I saw yesterday, because there's a storm window over the opening, but there's definitely no window under it. But whether or not they're retaining them or replacing them, I'm
Okay.
not sure, but I'll check on that.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this is an example of where an Indo might work too.
Yeah.
And then I had a question too about the last COA where, you know, you're talking about the window world and there, but I thought we had an issue with vinyl windows.
We do.
Okay, so we're still hoping that they're going to be able to repair these windows as opposed to replace them.
I hope so. That's why I want to go see them in person and see what condition they're in, because there's just no way to know until you actually lay eyes on them. So,
Okay,
So-
and can we just make sure that they're aware of what are the right kinds of windows that were approved, you know?
when I chatted with him this afternoon, he was talking about the various kinds of windows that he'd read that we allowed for replacement. So the aluminum clad wood and
Okay,
fiberglass clad wood. So yes, he's read our guidelines, so
Okay.
he is aware of that.
okay, great.
So
Thank you.
Yeah.
Are the full track storm windows gonna be an issue? They're already there?
they're already there. So those will have to go away if they would put vinyl windows in, of course. Storm windows are there, and we see that there are people that repair windows. I thoroughly understand what they're saying about not being easy to clean original windows on a second floor. I get that. I understand that, but that's not, we're looking at materials, so.
So just for the record, he called me this last week because I know Eric, he's an auctioneer. So we go way back. So I told him to look at the website and,
Okay,
you know,
good.
so-
That's how he knew then. Good.
because I said, nah, vinyl windows are not our favorite thing. So just research everything that is available to you. So, you know, you come prepared. So
Yeah,
yeah, he's looking forward to you coming, I'm sure. of
good.
that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him and then, advising. If he said he had several vinyl. I mean, I don't have a problem replacing vinyl with vinyl. They're already gone.
That's what I told him too.
So I'm not going to argue about
There
that.
was only 3 of those.
Yeah. So the rest of them, we need to see them, but usually windows under storm windows are fairly decent condition, but you never know when the storm windows were put on or what had happened before. So we need to be fair, but we do try to do a site visit on all windows. So see what we can do.
Thank you to Miss Amy. Okay, you have anything else for us, Deb?
Yes, I got all kinds of goodies on here. So, are you ready for new business? I'm sure we don't have committee reports
Well,
or,
I'm sure we don't, and we don't have any old tabled business, so now we're into new business.
okay. So, we skipped over goals for 2025 because we didn't really have time for it last month. So I don't know if we've got a little time that we want to spend on that today. If there's anything that you're hoping to accomplish this year in our contract, assuming that the city will sign that, and I hope so, because I am putting a little time in here, so that would be good. We do ask for, or state that we will conduct 2 training workshops each year. So that can be just for the commission, but it can also be for the public as well, like we did last year with the windows. So I didn't know if there was something y'all were thinking about for the public, or do you just want a couple in-house training meetings or?
Does anybody have any input on that? Have you had time to think about it?
Well, with my conversations with Kyle, I feel like he and I have discussed that it would be to our benefit to, some continuing education, if you will, for us.
Well, I thought the window one we did was well attended and everybody really appreciated it. And several of the people said, oh, I got so much, they didn't know. that was available to them. So
So maybe one each,
Yeah,
one for us,
I
and one
think
for
that
the
would be
public.
good. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I feel like if we're going to go to the effort to have somebody come and speak, we should make it as broadly available as possible.
right, I agree, Larry.
Yep.
Okay. Is there a topic you would want for the public one? Like we did windows. I mean, we can do windows again. They're doing a lot of trades training things in South Bend. So they're looking at masonry, windows, carpentry. I think they just did one on hardware for windows and doors and things like that. Painting, good wood preparation for painting and proper color schemes.
Maybe painting would be good. It's, a lot of people still have homes that require them to paint.
Okay.
What do you,
I like that idea.
Okay.
It offers some inspiration for, cohesion and some colors that are, I feel like they think it's like the public might think it's dowdy, that it's the antique colors or the historic colors, and it's not. It
Right.
can still be made modern. So, putting the right colors together, that's not easy for everyone. So
Right.
I don't think that that's a bad
okay, so,
lesson to learn.
so for the public, we'll put one on about painting.
When do you
What's
think?
how long are you thinking of, an hour long?
Probably an hour. I would say probably an hour or so presentation, then some Q&A afterwards.
Maybe invite some vendors with some paint samples and stuff like that.
Yeah, we can do that. Hmm. Are you thinking summer, fall, spring to summer?
I think,
Okay,
yeah.
Usually do those painting projects spring and summer.
let me
Well, whenever
May and
Do
June.
weather permits.
chatting and see, my predecessor in this position, I don't know if anybody was here then, Paul Hayden, were you here when Paul was here? Okay, Paul's great.
Yeah,
He's really good at paint and colors and all that stuff, and he's good about traveling around. He just did one in LaPorte a couple weeks ago, so I think I can get him to come up here and do that. I'll see what his schedule would be. What location? Do you want to go back to where we were?
the fire department has told us we can come back there. And it worked out fairly well.
That's
I
fine.
mean, the parking was good in the back and no one had any problem finding it, so, I'll just call them and then
Okay.
as soon as we have a date, then we'll get
Yeah.
it.
Let me talk to
So-
Paul, see when he's available. and
Yes,
then we
and
can
then you
take
can
it
let me
from
know.
there.
Right.
And see what we can set up and get some.
So that one will be a public one, and then what would you like to do the one just for us on?
Deb,
There's so
What do you
many
think?
things, and I just don't have a list off the top of my head. We've done some on, the ordinance, and that is something we're going to talk about here tonight. That's something we need to do a workshop on too, going forward. We're looking at local designation and the steps that it takes, but we have done a workshop on that where you knew that. We can do kind of a quick 101 with some focus on maybe making defensible motions. I think that could be a good thing. I was reading recently of a commission that actually has a motion template that everyone has in front of them for every meeting. I think that could be really useful.
Yeah,
That would be,
I
that
think-
would be
I
good.
think Mr. Hale would appreciate that.
I think you're right.
So we do it right, Steve?
Yeah. I think that would
Yes.
help us all out. Yeah.
So maybe that sort of thing.
Mhm.
Do you want to do that fairly soon, like next month, maybe before it gets too busy?
Sure.
Mm.
Yeah.
Next month is March, right? Yeah, okay.
March.
Yeah. Just trying to think of spring. Well,
Yeah.
spring break wouldn't affect
I
us,
just
that's
feel
the
like
end of the month.
we've had 2 super quiet months and I feel things are going to change here,
Right.
I believe. So. Well, I'm hoping for better weather at least. So that would
It's
be
nice
good.
today.
It was, or so I heard.
Okay, so at our March meeting,
Okay, we will do the March meeting. We'll do one, just some preservation basics and then really hone in on defensible motions.
If that's going to be a workshop training for the commission,
Right.
can we see if we can meet in the other room with a projector screen and have some more facilities rather than just sitting up here trying to see and talk
We could,
before
Probably do.
the regular meeting?
do you want to do it before the regular meeting?
That's what my suggestion.
Does that work?
If we meet at 6, maybe have a meeting
Okay.
at 5.
Really at 6? Okay.
Are you
We will
talking
have
to
that
me
message sent out,
and-
right, Sylvia? Yeah. That we will meet early in March.
Okay.
Okay, so remind everybody.
But the 5 o'clock.
Yeah, that's what I
It'd be a
mean.
workshop meeting.
Yes, 5, I'm sorry. I'm changing it to my time zone.
Yep.
Yes,
Before
5
the
o'clock
regular
would be
public
good.
meeting at 6,
And
Right.
we'll be in the
In that,
ECO
Room
or
back there.
whatever.
if it's available.
What is it?
EOC.
Whatever.
What's that mean?
That room.
That room?
Emergency Operations Center.
Oh, okay, now I know what room you're talking about.
And Dan, earlier you had said that the next meeting was the 24th, but I
Yeah.
think it's the 17th, isn't it? That's the fourth
no,
Monday in
It is.
March.
It's the same as today.
it'll be the same as today because there's 4 weeks in February. We don't get to the 4th until the 22nd.
Oh.
There's a 4th.
All right.
It becomes the 4th day of the month. Yeah. So
Okay.
it has to
Yeah,
be the
my
same.
mis-
Okay, March 24th at 5 o'clock in the emergency operating whatever room.
So that is not a public notice. Sorry. Look, I'm learning again, Drew. So that doesn't need to be noticed because it's just going to you all.
It is
Correct.
just information being given to the commission. So it's nothing they're acting on. They're not making any motions.
Oh, no,
they're
no,
not-
I was trying, as far as.
So I don't think,
No,
no,
no.
it's just an educational session for them. So I don't,
You guys are lucky. My board meetings have to be public, even if we just want to shake hands.
so, I mean, the same laws apply to everybody, but I don't know. Steve, you can weigh in on that. I felt the open door law was, if you're just strictly giving, someone is strictly giving educational information and there's no discussion of anything, there's no motions, not discussing any pending cases or anything like that, does it need to be?
I will confirm that that's an exception to the requirements of the open door and let Sylvia know.
Okay, that would be.
Sorry
great.
to be complicated.
But on the other hand, we could, the public can come
The
if they're
public-
interested, come
Public
early and-
could come.
or any to learn about it.
Yeah, because it is strictly educational. I don't know that it would really interest a lot of the
No, no,
public,
they-
but they could come if they
No,
want. We,
and that could cause a problem too, because we've got to be done so we could be in
well, we
here.
don't have to give time for public comment. It's something like that. Because it's just a public meeting. It's not a public hearing. So the hearing has to have
And-
public comment. So if they're not commenting, it can't run the meeting too late. So,
Right.
And I will also be mindful, Steve, maybe you can look into it. Because if everybody attends the training and is open to the public, then you basically have quorum, which means you're in a meeting.
mhm.
So I would just consider that when you're looking into your different, when you know, as you guys determine when your training is going to be. Because I'm pretty sure you all are going to want to attend. So maybe, Steve, you could figure out how to make that a possibility, but with all of the board members there.
Well, it's a workshop meeting.
Mhm.
Yeah, I will confirm.
Thank you.
Policy.
Okay. And we did talk briefly about the HPC roundtable that we're going to do in May, I think, at the last meeting. So that has definitely been confirmed that there will be a meeting on May, the last Thursday in May, which I don't have that written down.
The 29th?
29th, that sounds right. Yes. So on May 29th, I do not have the time, but it will be at the Old Republic in New Carlisle, the east edge of town. And I'll get you the address for that. So that's going to be a time where there'll be an open house and you can go through the house, which has been amazingly restored. We'll have some decent refreshments for you. And then we're going to have Kurt Garner there, and he's going to talk about historic districts and appropriate infill, new construction, additions, things like that. So
What time do you know, Deb?
that we haven't confirmed
Okay.
for sure.
Okay.
After work, so
Okay.
probably in the 5, 6 o'clock. And I know that's a problem because after work here is different than after work in New Carlisle, but we'll,
So is this a event or this, or is this something that you just?
we're just inviting everyone to this.
Okay.
This is all the commissions that I work with and that my colleague and Gary works with are invited. So it's strictly commission members. So
So it's not that y'all. I'm a commissioner?
you can come. It's a cool house. Okay. So just saying. You don't have to come, but you can come. Mm. Okay. The door hangers. Sent those out. Anthony had suggested that we do something on the backside because that's a whole lot of space. And so I did. I don't know how you feel about that. I don't think we really discussed specifically what we were going to put on the backside. But I think that kind of gives an overview of what they need to do, who they need to contact, what gets reviewed by staff.
Well, you don't have to repeat yourself.
So if that's something that you're interested in, then we need to look at printing and distributing.
What's the distribution plan?
Door to door.
Walks.
Some are going to hire somebody to do it or get some volunteers.
I actually had volunteered.
I think we should do it.
I think so. I think it's good for you guys to be seen.
Yes, I think they need to see you all.
Plus, a lot of the schools have honor students that have to perform free stuff for the community. So we might be able to enlist some of them also.
Well, and the area is not actually that large
No,
to walk it in a couple of weekends.
No, if we
We have a door
break it
count
up.
with the historic districts,
You what?
a door count.
There's a list, yeah. And then I don't know as far as printing, how that would work.
I think Anthony was gonna take care of talking.
Was he
to
gonna do
someone.
that?
Yeah, I think he was
Okay.
gonna talk to Mary Angie about it.
Yeah.
He's one of the commission members.
Yeah.
Anthony did say he was going to
Yeah.
talk to
Okay.
the mayor about this, so
Okay.
we'll
We'll
wait
let him
until we
do
can
that.
get a hold of him. But I
Okay.
think, I thank Deb for doing this because I think it's really nice.
It really is. I think
And did you see it, Larry?
I've not. No.
Okay. CLG application updating.
sorry, for the door hanger.
Mhm.
Would you like me to put it in the program so that it'd be cheaper for them to just print off of the template?
I don't know what you mean, put it in the program. I'm sorry.
Can I keep,
You can keep.
do you have it digitally?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, it'll be, if it's in a template, it's easier for them to print in bulk,
Mhm.
and then save it, and then you can make it digital. And you can email it or send out a text message as well.
Okay,
All right.
cool. Okay, good. All right, I have nothing really to say on CLG application update. I have all the paperwork done. Everything's ready. We just need documents signed by people in the city and Greg's gonna work on that. He just sent me an email this afternoon. So I need mayor's signature several times and then I'll need your signature, I think, on one letter, but we're ready to roll as soon as we get the okay from the mayor.
Okay.
Do she have it,
Yes.
Ms. Stalker?
Yes. You can do that better than I can. I'm not here that often.
She's a good stalker.
I am.
So, and yeah, we took the historic landmark ordinance off. In the essence of time, I think we'll save this until the next meeting. I sent out the rules of procedure. I know we talked about it the last meeting, but Steve has reviewed that since and found a couple things. Some were smaller duplicate words, grammatical things, but then there's some of the sections that really could read more smoothly if they were moved around a little bit. So,
Talk to her back there before you leave,
okay.
the Director of Public Works.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
You could have came up here and said.
So I will get you. Okay, good deal. Well, I will work on this rules of procedure, getting this typed up with all the changes in it. I thought I'd get all of them, and when I got the COA this afternoon, everything kind of went downhill. So did not get that done. So I will get that finalized, get all the excess stuff out of there and send it to you and see if you're happy with that, so that rules of procedure you can approve here, and we could do that next meeting. Okay, is there anything else that we should be talking? Oh, I guess this is just an update. I am having a meeting next Friday with a realtor from South Bend, and he's going to help us develop our real estate training course.
Oh,
So LaPorte County is our first target that we're going to go after. So
that's great.
hopefully that will be happening later this summer, but he's going to help us figure out what it takes to get that continuing education credit.
Do we have any updates on the legislation that was pending about requiring?
It needs to go through the House yet. And everything has looked positive so far, but it's holding still at the moment. It hasn't moved forward, but it's not dead. So.
Okay. We have one public, but I don't think she's got anything to say. Good. Anyone on the commission have a comment or?
I have a comment.
Okay.
It's more of a request as we move forward and try to do these minutes. When you are making your motion, if we can say our name, because when you get the minutes from me, you're gonna have to let me know if that was you or not, because it doesn't come up well, and then I'm not very familiar with you all. So tonight gave me a face to put to whom I believe, and and I'm gonna go watch the video now that I have everyone's name. But as we move forward, if you can, I such and such move, I such and such second, it was moved by. If you make sure you do, it was moved by and second by, then it helps some of those. But it'll just help streamlining the minutes process, because we are using software now.
Oh, okay.
I know y'all didn't think I got 4 months of minutes done.
Right, Kyle, would like to say.
Okay, Kyle, we'll let you.
Thank you. So last month's minutes are on the computer on the drive. That was the last thing that was completed by me, was the minutes.
Yeah, look at that.
Very good.
Sylvia's happy, Kyle.
Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Anything else? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Great.
I, Dan Gramkus, move to adjourn.
I, Amy Bowman, second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Thanks, Dan.
Not Kyle, Drew. Did Anthony ever show up on the Zoom?
Oh.
Okay. Couldn't see it. Word?